So one of the books I read this week was Sammy the Seal by Sid Hoff. As you can just tell by the front, by the cover, there's the illustrations are kind of very round, like their heads are very round. The buildings are very square. Um, this is a bit older of a book, so that's probably partly why that is. As you open it up, you got Sammy the Seal. Um, so it was feeding time at the zoo. All the animals were getting their food. So as you can tell, like the guys are all bringing in the food. It kind of ties together what the author's saying right there about, it being feeding time. You got elephants eating hay and lions eating meat, and you have monkeys eating bananas and the bears that are eating their honey, which is kind of all very what we would expect these particular animals to be eating. So then it was time for the seals to be fed. Mr. Johnson took them fish. Hooray for fish, said the seals. They jumped in the water. And as you can see, this is kind of what you would anticipate. The color of the seals is fairly appropriate. The colors of the book are, they're very nice, kind of calming, not real bright and vibrant. But then again, I wouldn't expect them to really be all bright and vibrant. And once again, it's a bit older of a book, so everything kind of like his head looks kind of like an odd shape, not and kind of more round. Um, Soon the basket was empty. That is all there is, said Mr. Johnson. There is no more. Thank you for the fish, said the seals. They were good. The seals were happy. But one little seal was not happy. He sat by himself. He looked sad. What is wrong, Sammy? Said Mr. Johnson. I want to know what it's like to live on the outside of the zoo, said the little seal. I want to go out and look around. Kind of silly, but it's a children's book, so nobody. So Mr. Johnson allowed Sammy to do so. As you can see, all right, Sammy, said Mr. Johnson. Have you been a good seal? You may go out and see. Which, zoos would never just let the animals go free. Goodbye, Sammy, said the other seals. Have a good time. Goodbye, said Sammy. And, talking animals too. But I think this book is very cute. It was written by the author that wrote Danny the Dinosaur, which was one of my favorite books as a child. And so I've read this book to my grandkids. When are you going? Said the zebra. I am going out. Oh, where are you going? Said the zebra. I am going out, said Sammy. Have fun, said the hippo. Yeah, these animals look very animated, and the colors are accurate. Um, Everything's still kind of very round. The lines are kind of very, straight and such. Come back soon, said the giraffes. And so Sammy walked and walked and walked. He did not know what to look at first. How crazy would that be to see a seal just walking down the street? Nobody seems to really notice, though. That seal must be from out of town, said a man. Sammy looked at everything. What street is this? Said a man. I am a stranger here myself, said Sammy. I guess it is feeding time here too, said Sammy. Kind of creatures of habit, he sees them eating and it's their feeding time, and he's used to seeing that at the zoo. That is a lovely fur coat, said a lady. Where did you get it? I was born with it, said Sammy. I wish I could find some water. I am hot. I want to go swimming, said Sammy. Now, if he'd have just stayed at the zoo, he'd be swimming right now. "We are sorry, there is no more room for you in this puddle," said some of the birds. "And there is no room for you here," said the goldfish. Poor Sam, he's a little naive. He doesn't understand the ways of the world because he's been living in a zoo. "Keep out," said the policeman. "You can't swim in there." "Ah, there is a place," said Sammy. Who is in my bathtub?" said someone. "I am sorry," said Sammy, and he left at once. Some children were standing in line. Sammy got in line too. "What are we waiting for?" asked Sammy. "School. What do you think?" said the little boy. "That will be fun. I will come too," Sammy said. The teacher was not looking. Sammy sat down. The children made words with blocks. Sammy wished he could spell. "All right, children, now we will sing a song," said the teacher. The children had good voices. "That sounds fine," said the teacher, "but one of you is barking just like a seal." "Is it you, Joey?" said the teacher. "No," said Joey. "Is it you, Helen?" said the teacher. "No," said Helen. So as you can tell, this book is a bit older. These pictures look a little, you know, they don't look quite so modern. Everything's really round, appropriate colors, not super vibrant colors again. "It is you. Is it you, Dorothy, Robert, Fred, Joan, or Aunt Agnes?" "No," said the children. "Then it must be you," said the teacher. "I am sorry. This school is just for boys and girls. Please let me stay," said Sammy. "I'll be good." "All right, you may stay," said the teacher. Sammy was happy. He sat at his desk and looked at the teacher. He learned to read. He learned to write. "And now it's time to play," said the teacher. "Who wants to play a game?" "We do," said the children. They threw the ball over the net. "The ball must not hit the ground," cried Sammy's team. "Somebody catch the ball." Sammy caught the ball on his nose. A boy on the other team cried to catch the ball on his nose too. "Boys must catch with their hands," said the teacher. Sammy tried to catch with his flippers. "Seals must catch with their noses," said the teacher. Up and down went the ball, from one side to the other. At least the teacher blew her whistle. "Who wins?" said the children. "It is even," said the teacher. Everybody was happy. A bell rang. School was over. "Will you be here tomorrow?" said the children. "No," said Sammy. "School is fun, but I belong in the zoo. I just wanted to know what it was like outside. Now I have to go back." "Goodbye, Sammy," said the children. "We will come to see you." "Good," said Sammy. Sammy was in a hurry to get back to the zoo. He had so much to tell the other seals. "May I welcome you home, Sammy?" said Mr. Johnson. "I am glad to be back. You are just in time for dinner." "There's no place like home," said Sammy. So I feel like the author was trying to tell us, that it's good to go out and have experiences, that everybody is different, as you could see in like the school when he was catching a ball with his nose and the children couldn't do that, but they could catch it with their hands and he couldn't catch it with his flippers. But it was okay to accept them for being different. And as he's going along, and nobody really pays attention to the fact that he's a seal, just tells him the things that he can't do. So I feel like the author was trying to tell us that, we all have differences, but, we can all just get along. And also, I feel like he was trying to tell us that you can go home and, that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Even though he had a good time going out and about, he still realized that his home was in the zoo. I love that book. Like I said, that same author wrote Danny and the Dinosaur, which was one of my favorites when I was a child. And I have read this book to my grandkids and will read it to several more, I'm sure. This was kind of fun.